Religion, by definition, is conflict. If you would ask me what religion is the conflict between you and the divine.
Okay, dig that down a little bit. Explain that. I get it, but it's an interesting concept.
Sigmund Freud would call religion your super ego, which imposes its will on the individual. And you're in conflict. Your ego is like saying, hey, religion, calm down, I'm not ready yet. Or no, it turns to you, the immature id, and says, hey, guy, grow up. It's time. So what most people study when you're a kid, you study biblical text. Biblical text doesn't have that much conflict in it. Of course, there are stories about conflict, but the ideas are like God wrote a book to Moses and read it. What happened then was about 700-800 years after the biblical text was given, there started arguments on what did God really mean. And what they published was in year 500, the same time as the New Testament was published, something called the Talmud.
As I said, we're in the process of getting this show to that next level of aesthetics, as well as constantly considering the messages and the information we put out on this channel, because it's important, the message and now the movement that's really started. I've had so many people tell me that, and of course I'm biased to I'm gonna tout that out there, but it seems to be true. And the bigger thing is that so let me step back. So this week and all the conversations we're having, those of you who've been on this show for a while, I'm pretty sure, judging from all the comments and all the stuff on social media and so forth, I'm pretty sure that there is a growing desire and need for what we're doing here. And those subjects that are, for instance, just yesterday, I could give 3 or 4 examples this week, but yesterday, Shane was on. Shane is he's an advocate. He's an advocate for and is afflicted with ADHD and Alzheimer's. Not Alzheimer's. Oh, dang it. Autism. There it is. And very functional. Absolutely. More functional than I am a lot of times. But my point being is that listen to that interview, because literally throughout it, and you'll hear me say this a number of times, it blew my mind. And the audience people and a few people I know and called me afterwards, and they were affected, because you look back on what could be and what we did, and you'll see what I mean by the information. ADHD is always, I thought, to be kind of a quirky thing. I've always known I've had it, but it wasn't. I'm telling you, he set down examples or actions of the ADHD mind. And autism, but this conversation we mainly stayed on ADHD, how to improve your entrepreneurs in your workplace, how to manage with your families, and on and on and on. And I asked a question once. Actually, producer Barbie asked a question once during the show. She said, "Has this always been around, or is there some sort of?" And I was curious too. I think a lot of people are, especially when you bring up autism, that. Is it the food thing? Is there stuff going on? The answer that he gave, the explanation, and I won't leave it out here because you got to go in and see it. I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind. It looks at this part of medicine, this part of mental disease differently. Its approach is, pardon my language, fucking amazing. It's really, really mind-blowing. And I'm not talking about a new way, but I mean, listen, when you hear the facts, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I know half a dozen people, just that I know, a number of people that, including myself, that were affected by, oh my God, I had no idea. And so I'm not selling here. I'm telling you, this is something that you want to go check out. So I say that because as you all know, we have a lot of really good guests. Barbara Bowman, just before that, the Padre, the different religious talks we've had with different experts in the fields of different religions, which is kind of cool. I always love to do that. Bitcoin, we've done a lot of Bitcoin, a number of Bitcoin things, personal health and personal wealth. And then, of course, mental health awareness. And we have a number of all those topics coming up. As you who are familiar with the show, this show is about everything that the great middle class is concerned about, and everything that they're that has the ability or the actions to empower each person within the middle class to become that next level. So, and as we expect the systems and the government and the politicians to step up and act in the interest that we always talk about on this show, it's also that can't go without each and every one of us stepping up and lifting our own knowledge and thought process, and because the world's coming fast and it's not going to slow down. The people that lived during the Cowboys and Indians, their thought processes were substantially not yet ours. And we aren't perfect mammals or people or citizens, but we are evolving. And with AI coming and with the things that are on the horizon, now's not a time to take casually your acceptance into the world and how it's coming. I mean, we just went through 4 years of bizarre government actions, and we're learning more now. And this is the point I want to make. We're learning more now as this new administration. I told you before, I'm a very hard, staunch trust but verify. I voted on a split ticket because I didn't want. I'm an independent. I'm not. But I'll tell you what, I have been. Although, let me put it this way: he's cleaned up a few things, so I'm really excited about this president and this administration. On top of the things he's doing, last time, he was in a constant battle, and I used to tell producer Barbie, hey guys, hey guys, thanks for showing up, appreciate it. Listen in, it's really good. And by the way, for you guys just coming on, if you don't get a chance to hear what I said, you got to go listen to Barbara Bowman and Shane yesterday's interview with the ADHD. That was some stuff that I'm shocked that the people don't know, and it's very simple and it's very obvious when he talks about it. But anyway, back to my point. It's frustrating that we're still dealing with what we're dealing with. This next administration's coming in and they're exposing, and I mean, you see the stuff. I don't see how it's being made up or anything like that. But for instance, Doge, it's a big topic, and there's a percentage of the country. Well, the extreme Democrats and the media, of course, but I'm just so frustrated that they still get away with this, literally flat out lying, literally saying that Trump is a dictator. I mean, he's already done this once, and he has a harder job this time than before, because when Biden was going out, he was throwing money everywhere, trying to increase, I mean, literally sabotaging our country. And it wasn't Biden, but the Democratic Party. You got to understand, guys, there's a bigger picture than the fight between the Republicans and the Democrats. The whole fight in general is just between Democrats and Republicans, but there's something way, way bigger than this. And I'm going to say the word conspiracy theory to let it soak in, because I know this has always gone back and forth. And I always was back and forth with that term and events that were associated with it. But what I've started to realize or see, and I mean, my God, please, everybody, please, we're the great American middle class. We are the backbone of America. Please understand. Please tell me that you understand that you know that at least a great amount of the conspiracy theories that was coined during Trump's first administration, as it turns out, have been true. And it's about an underlying government to the United States. We talked, God, I think it was 3 or 4 interviews ago, about a guy who was talking about making what I believe this underground government is in one whole world government. And so, a lot of questions about that. How are you going to get that to be done? Is it even a good idea? What blows me away is the logic of how the operations of day in and day out go, and the blatant lies that are being told, and are being believed. I'm so now. I do have some hope. I saw a couple of surveys, and it's like 75 to 25, 75% agree and are happy and are excited about the things that Trump is doing, his administration is doing. And to be honest with you, if you look at the last folks and these folks, this is two different world class. I mean, do you remember the security guy that always talked about the border? He kind of had that bald head, and he always had the and he never answered a question, and he always was making excuses, and it's everybody else's fault. There's no problem at the border. There's no illegal aliens taking over apartment buildings in towns. Just freaking lying all over the place. And there's more. That's not even a scratch. That's not even a molecule on the scratch of the surface. And my point being, again, is that I am stunned that more people aren't finally going, oh my God. Here's the thing. You're not devoted to your party. You're devoted to your family, your community. Your party is there, put in place to make sure what we need happens. And if you look at the things that are being said now, the whole Doge things coming out that they're finding hundreds and billions of corruption, people using 2 or 3 different social security numbers, illegal aliens using 2 or 3 different social security numbers to get like $420 million. This one guy got something like that. And for Medicare claims, I think, is what that was. But anyway, my point is, we voted because deep down we all kind of saw, or at least 7 point, whatever the number was, saw that there's something really, really wrong. And we've been lied to, and we've been just taking it for granted. But we're really starting to kind of see through platforms like this. We're starting to really come and see things that we've been told all our life by our politicians that aren't necessarily true. So back to Trump. I am on board with everything going about. And to be honest with you, I am really freaking happy about him this time, because look at him. I mean, I used to always say, you guys probably know this. I used to always say, the only good thing about, I wish Trump was a smooth talking politician. I know actions matter, but all that time he used to give softballs to his critics, his opposing people, to just keep interfering with what he was trying to do. And I used to talk to producer Barbie about that, because she used to get mad at me when I get mad at Trump. And but this time, that vision I had for him the first time is what he's doing, and way better than I ever had a vision of it this time. And he's got an amazing administration around him. You look at the comparisons between the two, it's substantial. You look at the vice president picks between the two, it's substantial. I mean, as far as love for the country and intelligence and common sense, that is really, really, really evident. So I don't get it unless there are 25% of the people, not 75, there are 25% of the people that are saying they don't like what he's doing now. He's been in the thing a month or whatever, and he's I got some texts coming in. He's got some, hold on, let me look. Why do you think the government struggles to implement those obvious solutions? Great question. That's where I'm going. Absolutely. Wow, this is deep. So many great insights. Thank you, guys. So on this right here, I was alluding to it right before you texted. I was alluding to it as far as this deep this underground kind of state that is working against the American middle class. I haven't been able to tell how that, but they're making more and more and more people, especially the hard left, OAC or whatever her name is, and those really, they're trying to make our country social. I mean, look at their policies. Look at their comments day in and day out. The comments that they make, if you look at it from, okay, I'm a person that wants nothing from you except what's best for the American people. If you take that approach and listen to what some of these people are saying, you go, what the hell? Because if you listen to the talking heads and you listen to those talking points, that's why I started the show. It's just getting me so frustrated that there's still anybody who believes some of these, gosh darn, I was thinking of a different word, gosh darn talking points and these actions that they're taking, these senators and these Republicans that are there that were voted in to do our job, to do our business, I believe are running scared as hell because there's a lot of corruption coming out. And I believe that for the last at least 50 years, the government, whichever part of the party was kind of running it all along the way, was just soaking us, just freaking soaking a Ponzi scheme. You know, I mean, in the defense and the Social Security, they're just taking money left and right. Now you know why, like, people like Nancy Pelosi come in making a couple $100,000 a year and are worth like $200 million. Or AOC, I talked about before. She came in, she was a waitress with her house on foreclosure. Fact check that. I've heard that. I don't want to do what they do and just state something time after time and time until after a while you believe it's fact. So that's not what I'm trying to do. But look at Bernie Sanders. I mean, all of them across the board, but the extreme ones are on the left example. Maybe it's because I don't hear about the right as much. That's fair. Because I believe most, if not damn near all politicians are crooked right now. They're in it to fill their pocket. I even ran for office once in the city of Placentia in California. I got 10% of the vote. And I didn't do any advertising or anything, but I really wanted to get there. And then I didn't want to deal with, let's see, that'd be in 80, like the early 2000s. I think that's right. Anyway, lived in a city called Placentia in Orange County, California, just above Chapman, right next to Fullerton College, across from my mom's music company in Fullerton there. So that was a lot of fun, and I learned some interesting things, although I didn't learn a lot. I just kind of felt what it was like. That's why I did it. I honestly, I'm surprised. I had the police department supporting me And then I told them, look, I'm not going to be advertising. So they didn't, but they liked. And so I was really excited about having and much younger man and having some really neat conversations with how a little things work here and there. I've got a interview coming up for a lady who's running for Congress in Minnesota. I'm really excited about that because I think it's those conversations that you as the American people, let me switch this over here, that you as the American people deserve to have fighting. Now, and it shouldn't be a fight. They always talk about these fights. There's hundreds of trillions of dollars floating around that they're just trying to figure out how to get as much of it into their own freaking pockets. And the absolute corruption that's been going on for however long is there. And now that they're looking like they're going to get caught. And this is, okay, I'll call it a conspiracy theory. But I'm tired of the right side calling the Democrats out and saying they're just so angry with Trump. I think that's bullshit. I mean, they're angry that he is taking their power and money away and putting it back into the hands of the American people. They have a Ponzi scheme within the government. Look at how people are in their 80, 90 years old. Why? Because of the money and the power, right? Only reason. Can't be anything else. They hold on as long as they can to make their family wealth, generate wealth as long as it can. And that seems to be where the political mindset has gone. The political, trying to think of a clever word, like the system, the enterprise, the political enterprise has become. All right, well, my dogs are over there looking at me kind of wide-eyed and wanting to head off. But please, folks, man, I mean, seriously, do your homework. Anybody who believes what anybody on the left is saying about Doge specifically right now, I'm sorry, guys, but you're not very smart, or you're lazy as hell. And I'm come here. Let's talk about this. Let your argument change my mind, because I work on this. I mean, I literally gave up the machinery business a couple of weeks ago. I said I kind of was the last of winding it down. Although a couple of days ago, a couple of those manufacturing partners were trying to convince me to come back. But all right, there's producer Barbie. I'm gonna give it a big. Hold on, let me do this. Say hi, producer Barbie.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's a happy Friday. Hang on, I'm just signing off right now. Give me a second. I'll leave it on speaker so you can hear it. So anyway, that's my dogs want me now. Producer Barbie's checking in, and here we are. She was just talking to my sister, hopefully about the show.
Yes.
Oh, you were? Good. All right. Yeah. Her and I got a lot to talk about. So I'm going to let you guys go. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. I didn't advertise, and we got 20. I didn't expect to get anybody on, maybe later, watching it later, but 25 people. Got a couple of really good questions here. Thank you very much, guys. Like I said, I so much appreciate the support. I so much want to do this the rest of my life. I so much want to be able to do this while moving closer to my grandkids. My business wouldn't let me do that. I'm landlocked contract wise. So, we're all on a mission, and most of it's united. And at the end of the day, please keep supporting, subscribe. I'm going to start doing some advertising. Our guests are putting into some of the expenses of I don't want to get into that. Anyway, love you guys. This is Insights and Straight Talk with Rod Duff and
producer Barbie.
Oh,
bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
That was funny because we didn't even plan on that, and she did it well. Excellent job, Barbie. All right, I'm out. Just so you know, guys, we've got 5 interviews next week. And like Barbie said, have a great weekend. Happy Friday. And with that, I'm out. Hold on. Let me just.
Hundreds of trillions of dollars coursing through our economic veins, there exists a pathway where no U.S. citizen needs endure poverty. Every child should be shielded from involuntary hunger and thirst. By eradicating greed and corruption, we pave the way forward. This chapter delves into the rationale behind our governmental expenditure and prompts a critical inquiry into how our leaders allocate our resources.